Hey guys, I'm Eric, and we are Candidate Cloud. Today, hiring managers have a huge problem. They have way too many candidates, and they just have to narrow it down to one. So, with that problem, they want to solve it. So, the first issue is high unemployment. A lot of people are applying for jobs now, and the ease of application has never been easier. You're a few clicks away from applying to multiple different jobs at the same time. So what these hiring managers receive is a glut of qualified applicants. So another issue that they have, go back, high and expensive job turnover. People are leaving their jobs more and more. The cost of replacing these jobs is about 20% of their actual salary. Another issue with this is there's more data that hiring managers have to go through. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're having a more accurate result when you're hiring someone. It means you're just taking more of a guess into oblivion. So the market today is actually pretty large. There's 2.3 million private businesses with 5 employees or more in the United States today. Over 630,000 actually have 20 or more employees, and over 100,000 have 100 and more employees. This forgets to mention the 51,500 federal and state agencies that also are out there that could use our service.
So there's companies that are playing in this space that are trying to answer the question of how do we deal with this information overload? And you see a couple screenshots here of, I wouldn't even call them competitors per se, but these are people that are trying to create this sort of graphical display of people's online footprint. The problem with these, we think this is the wrong approach because this type of display requires analysis and interpretation, which takes more time and doesn't necessarily lend itself to a better hiring outcome. So enter Candidate Cloud. What we do is we take this mass of data from all different kinds of sources, we scrape that from the internet, and we translate that into a Candidate Cloud. That's simple. It's intentionally textual, not mixed media. All right, mixed media requires that we interpret and we analyze what's in front of us. Right? The text data instantly displays for us those keywords that are contextually meaningful to us as a recruiter, right? So if I know about my job posting, I know what types of keywords I'm looking for that are meaningful for my hiring objectives. A lot of cases, once they see this display, this is enough for them to jump to the next step of the process, to either validate a candidate or to disqualify a candidate. It saves time. And if that's not enough, they can simply click on one of the keywords that's contextually meaningful to them, and they dive deep into the source data that created those keywords, allowing them to research to whatever depth they want to that part of the candidate's background that's most important to them. It gives them really deep insight if they want it, and very quickly. So what's the opportunity? Well, we heard some of the big numbers earlier. The really big number is that software in the HR space, the annual spend's around $3 billion, right? We want to focus, we think the sweet spot for us is the 108,000 companies that have 100 employees or more. We think that they represent the bulk of turnover that happens in the workforce, the biggest amount of need, and they have money to spend to solve this problem of information overload and distilling down these large number of applicants down to the jobs that need to be filled. With just reaching 0.5% of the market, it generates roughly $3.5 million of SaaS revenue per year. And that's just a very small part of the opportunity. So there's also people like myself. I used to own an insurance agency. I had 5 employees. I need a tool like this. And there's many other small business owners that desperately need this same kind of analysis tool. But that's just part of the thing, because we can use the same software engine that we're using to generate this image, and we can do it backwards, and we can actually use this to generate qualified candidates that we then match with HR managers that have jobs to fill. And that's where the big opportunity is. So what I want to do, I want to talk just really quickly about validation. So validation on a weekend, when you're a B2B enterprise product company, is a little bit tough to talk with HR managers. They generally don't like to work on Saturdays and Sundays, but we did actually manage to have a Skype call with a contact of mine who is an HR executive in Toronto, and he runs a specialized placement company that would use this kind of thing, and in fact he wants a follow-up meeting once we have a working prototype. that they can use at the stage of their screening process right before the interview. He sees this as a really quick and efficient way for them to prep for interviews. I guess that's it.
So did I understand that this is like a tag cloud? You're going to click on that and then go in?
Correct. Yes, that's right.
I don't think you said your price point, but what you did say is 100 employees up, so you're going to have one of these webs that doesn't say price point, says contact us to find out how much it costs?
No, in fact, if you go to our website right now, we have a functional website. It doesn't have a fully functional product demo quite yet. But we're pricing it for a company with 100 employees. We're pricing it at $49.99 for full enterprise license, so that their entire HR department can leverage.
And that's SaaS. That's monthly price, right?
No, that'd be an annual license. $4,999 per year.
Okay.
Yeah. And scaling that up, so we're really targeting, for our go-to-market strategy, we're really targeting companies with 100 employees to 250 employees, and so a range of $49.99 to $64.99 is the price point we're looking at.
And so you said that the way it works is you go scrape LinkedIn sites and other sources. So, you know, how do you do that, and when do you do it? I mean, is that only after you've identified somebody, or? Yeah,
so we're concepting a really simple interface. So where the manager, all they have to do is put in the full name and the email address of that person. It might require that we put in a city and state to really clarify those results, but it's old technology. This isn't bleeding edge stuff. So we pulled the Alchemy API, just an open source API off the internet, and we were able to actually generate real candidate clouds using that API to scrub data. And there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can scrub the open internet, or you can scrub specific URLs. The open internet, bigger challenge, bigger, you know, it's more heavy lifting from a programming standpoint. But it is doable. Those are real candidate clouds. So we have the Alchemy API that does the scrubbing, and then it's rendered in the form that you see via JavaScript, right? Not rocket science. It's doable.
And then how did you validate your pricing model?
How
many customers did you talk to that gave you that led you to the $49.99?
Really a lot of it's, I got to blame Dan Whitaker. We looked at Dan. I mean, Dan's got a lot of experience with software and also enterprise sales. So, we're going to take Dan's word for it. And I liked the number. I thought, hey, that's a good place to start.
Describe again a little bit more about your target market and why you went to the mid-sized companies as opposed to the plethora of startups and smaller micro companies.
Well, we're going where the money is, number one. Generally speaking, with startups, if they have really high value target employees, there's already an established behavior of going to a search firm. So if they're looking for senior developers or senior engineers, typically they're going with a search firm. We did consider, and we're still open to the fact that this might be a tool that has a better home with the search firms and some of these high-level outsourced HR agencies. I don't know, but I think I have experience in B2B, so I've experience going to these mid-level managers and selling to that space, so I kind of defaulted there. Plus, we have a short list of, I think, high-value targets here just in the Mid-Valley that we can start with for proof of concept and getting our sales going.
So is this a direct selling model then?
I see it as sort of two or three different channels. So one being the small business market, we can create sort of a stripped-down product for them that doesn't have all the same customization in terms of views and ways to manipulate the data and the images. And so we've experimented with a $300 per year license fee for small businesses, or $30 per month that they can just purchase straight through the website. Would not require an account rep to set up. Very simplified user interface and functionality. We'd have a direct sales approach, obviously, for our target market. We'd send a sales rep. We'd have account managers that manage those accounts, sell deeper into those accounts as time goes by. And in terms of marketing, we'd have another channel, which is we'd have LinkedIn is really going to be one of our primary marketing channels for getting to those target customers, but also to the small business people. So there's, I think, a marketing approach that will help us get in touch with both of those.
I assume there's zero cost to you every time this is used, right? It's completely automated. Is that correct?
There's a flexible cost, just like AWS, with when you leverage those APIs.
Well, what I mean is, so if I wanted to do it on myself, which might be interesting, I could go to your website maybe for a one-time cost, do my own map. That might be.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. So if you go to our website right now, we've set aside a URL called mytrueview.com, and one of the opportunities we see is the ability to promote people doing these vanity searches on themselves. Gives us a way to collect data and continue to build our big data pool. But at the same way, that opens up an opportunity for us to match those people based on how the results come back with hiring managers. So that's that back channel where we have a whole nother revenue stream that we can potentially leverage down the road. And we own that, by the way, so you can't go buy that, mytrueview.com. It's already taken. Anything else, or are we done? Thank you very much.